Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. This morning we are going to cover welcome replay broadcasters or people that are watching the broadcast on replay. This morning we're going to talk to business owners and sales managers. Good morning, Gadget. Good morning, Chat GRS. Happy Hurley is in the house. Welcome. Welcome. I'm going to give you 3 important questions that you can use today, like in the next half hour. So thank you so much for sharing with your followers. I thoroughly appreciate your hearts. Let's get ready to rock. Please share with your followers by hitting that little Periscope person there. My name is MarvinLeBlanc, and I'm a business coach. Welcome, Arizona. I'm sure it's beautiful over there. I love the sunrises in Arizona, especially over a beautiful golf course with the doves chirping in the background. Cesara's back in the house, and we seen her yesterday, so I'm honored that you're back here again today. So here's my thoughts this morning, guys. My thoughts this morning, thank you for the hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. My thoughts this morning have to do with the fact that if you're a business owner or you're a sales manager, there's a lot of people that follow me that are also building multi-level marketing, network marketing organizations while they're still having to work a job. So here's the situation. Managers, hey, Aboiteo, welcome back. Managers, sales managers, business owners, entrepreneurs need to have daily dialogue, either face-to-face with their people or virtually, depending on where they're scattered all over. Good morning. So here's the situation. In my various businesses, what I want to do every day, did y'all catch that? Every day, I want to ask these same 3 questions with my team members to keep the continuity going. Question number 1, if someone would subscribe this, that would be great. Thanks for the pink hearts. Do we have some purple hearts, maybe some gold hearts, or some green hearts? Because I love purple, gold, and green. Anybody else having connection issues? Cesara is having a connection issue, so Cesara might have to come out and then come back in. Sometimes that certainly happens. I'm actually having good connections right now, but maybe I'll continue to proceed. Periscope has been sketchy lately, and sometimes in large, big conference rooms that I've been in, it seems the larger the hotel room, the harder it is for me to get reception from time to time. So let me give you these 3 questions, guys. This is a scenario whereby you're coaching a team member or you're managing team members and you want to keep the continuity up in the conversation from one day to the next. If somebody will put this on the bottom, that would be helpful. Number 1, how did we do yesterday? So my first question is, how did we do yesterday? Now, that question is an open-ended question designed to allow them to talk about their day from yesterday. How did we do yesterday? It could go into anything. Okay, so it's not a yes or no question. It's designed to allow them to talk. Thank you, Cesara. How did we do yesterday? Very good. That's question number 1. Question number 2, what's in the hopper today? What's in the hopper for today? In other words, okay, you told me about how your day went yesterday. I'd like to know what's in the hopper for today. In other words, what are you going to try to get done today? The key word there is today, because lots of times we forget the sense of urgency because we need to sell something. Hey, Vish, we need to sell something. Nothing happens until something is sold. So the first question is, how did we do yesterday? The second question is, what's in the hopper for today? You know, what prospects are you talking to? What appointments do you have coming in? Do you have a phone appointment? Do you have a Skype appointment? In other words, what activities are you focusing in on? So that's the second question. What's in the hopper for today? Okay. Third question, big question. Don't ask this question if you're not a manager that's willing to do this. The third question is, how can I help? So you're talking to John and you ask him, how does day go yesterday? And he told you. Maybe he told you about some of his struggles. What's in the hopper for today? Maybe he's meeting with a client that he might feel like it's a little out of his league and he might need some help. So the third question is, John, how can I help? Okay. We're not saying that we're going to do John's job, right? We're not going to do John's job. We're not going to enable John, but we are going to be a good leader, and we're going to model good leadership by being available for John in the way John feels like he needs a little lift. You know, every now and then we all need a hand. We just need a hand up. We don't need a hand out, but we might need a hand up. And so as a leader, if you were to ask, how can I help? They start thinking about it. Lots of times, Cesara, thank you. A lot of times, no, Marvin, I'm okay. You know, they realize they don't really need help. What they need is just to do the job. Just go and do it. Just leave those self-limiting beliefs behind and just go do it. Go give birth to that baby and go rock. Okay, just go do it. And so those are 3 questions, and I'm intentionally making this short because that's what I'm asking you to do today. You know, write those 3 questions down. How'd we do yesterday? What's in the hopper for today? Okay. How can I help? Another great question. Hey, ISO, Photo is in the house. Great follower. Another good question to ask other than how did we do yesterday? What's in the hopper for today? How can I help? Another great question is, so what are the 2 main things you want to get done today before you leave? What are the 2 main things you want to get done today before you leave? See, it is about urgency. So if there was 30 widgets that you wanted to sell, let's make it 20. If there was 20 widgets you wanted to sell in the month of December, and basically every month pretty much has only 20 business days in it. If we're wanting to sell 20 widgets in the month of December, we have to sell 1 widget every day. So if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and your salesperson hasn't sold a widget, okay, they have just that afternoon to find 1 widget that they need to sell if they're going to stay online. Now hang on there with me, because whenever I say this, some people say, well, that's so specific. Yes, that's one of the SMART goals, is you have to make specific goals. If you don't do it this way, this concept that I'm teaching right now is called periodization. If you don't do it this way, what will happen is 2 or 3 days will go by and no widgets will be sold. Oh, and then it's Thursday or Friday and 5 widgets need to be sold, and now they're behind on their goal. And then fear and frustration sets in. And then it's Christmas and they didn't get a big enough bonus. And so you see that negative downward spiral that can happen. Why? Because we didn't emphasize that today, before you leave or before you go to sleep, you already decided you needed to sell 1 widget today. And that means you get off of Facebook. You might not even be able to see this fantastic scope that I'm sharing with you, because you know you got to get that widget sold today. So that's my message. Do you have any questions on that? Because I also want to ask the viewers right now, not only to share, if you haven't already pressed the Periscope man, Periscope person, and shared, please share it, because you probably know friends, neighbors, co-workers, or relatives that are either in sales or managing other people. And thank you so much for that, Cesara. I do appreciate the hearts greatly. You know, you can actually tap 500 hearts in only 2 minutes. So ready, set, go. You can tap 500 hearts, each of you, in less than 2 minutes. Please. Here's the situation. I am going to, as you know, I'm already speaking across the United States, teaching my Marvelous Performance schools. In January, I'm going to actually be teaching some of the same material that I just shared with you today in a Marvelous Performance school that's going to be done virtually because a lot of you guys cannot get to a certain location. And so if you want to be included in the email list, just shoot me a line and say, hey, Marvin, you know, when you're setting up that class, at least tell me about it. You're not making any commitment to it, but at least tell me about the class. I don't know when I'm going to be in Maryland, but I have friends up there, and I certainly would love to get up there and do a performance school up there. And certainly if we can find a group of people, probably 25 people, we can make that actually happen. But here's some other topics. I'm trying to listen to what you guys want. And so in your businesses, if you're in a business, maybe you're an employee, what information do you need more of to tap into my 28 years of being an entrepreneur, of running businesses, of being in the sales world? What information can I offer to you in future scopes? And now's the time you could give those answers to me. What are the things that are getting you stuck? Where are you getting stuck right now that we could get some solutions and some insights on for 2016? Go back to work, Cesara. Work is a good thing. Cesara, you still think about what I just said about how can I help. Thank you, Cesara. Goodbye. Vish is saying overthinking. Okay, so let me write that down. Overthinking. Vish, the first thing that word just came up into my mind is us having some dialogue on what systems that I follow every day that keeps me on task. Because then those systems keeps me actually from overthinking. The other thing I would offer to you, Vish, is think about this, Vish, and think about high value activities. So what do, Vish? What do you sell? Do you sell? Hey, Megapixels, welcome to the broadcast. Megapixels, we're having a question and answer on how I can even offer more value in future scopes. Okay, Vish, so you're in real estate, okay? So I would suggest to you to look at what are my high value activities. Some people have actually come up with a point system that they use. Patrick, welcome to the room. Patrick, what we're talking about is questions and answers on how we can focus in on high value activities to maximize our productivity. And right now we're talking with Vish for Home, and he's in real estate. And so we're talking about what specific high value activities does Vish need to be doing. Vish, are you actually in real estate sales? I'm assuming you're in real estate sales. Okay, so Vish already knows that prospecting is my high value activity. Now, when he spends time in his day, Vish, when you're spending time in your day, I know you've read the book Shift by the Keller Williams guy. Shift, S-H-I-F-T. If not, I'll be glad to get it to you. I have several copies. It's an unbelievable book. Hey, good. Excellent. So when we're looking at hot prospecting, that means that we have to be in front of people. Either we're on a phone or we're in front of people in a networking event. And when I say networking event, I don't necessarily mean just the Kiwanis Club, just the Rotary Club, just BNI, which stands for Business Network International, not just the Chamber of Commerce. The fact is, if you have an informal conversation where you end up at lunch with 2 or 3 people you've never met, in my mind, I am in a network function, okay? So if I am awake, I'm usually networking. Any event, that's the way. You could be at a gas pump, for God's sakes, and can get into a conversation. So the whole old tradition where, well, I can't really have a conversation unless I sit down and have an appointment. No. That's old school. Basically, we want to expand our mind and realize that we have a much bigger shrimp net, that we're constantly trying to work with as many people as we possibly can. Just this morning, as a matter of fact, when I was in my prayer time and whatnot, I actually wrote down about 18 names of people that I need to make sure that I get in front of in the next 30 days. And so back to Vish, as far as prospecting is concerned, who are those people that know you, love you, respect you, that will work to leverage future referrals? Because what I don't want Vish to do is try to get all of those referrals just on his own. That's not what I want Vish to do. What I want Vish to do is realize there's 30 or 40 or 50 people that will definitely, that's right, that's Vish's circle of reference, his circle of influence. You know, has he reached out to those people on a consistent basis? Here's another thing. This used to be old school, and now it's sexy as hell, and that is this. Some of y'all are probably going to just turn off right when I say this. I'm back to handwriting cards to people. Okay? I take time to handwrite cards to people. Why is that? People won't throw away, usually, a well-written card. And so an email has become so blasé that if you take the time to handwrite a card, it can make a big, big difference. And my cards, because I'm a South Louisiana Cajun, it's got ducks on it. It's got pelicans on it. It might have a duck hunter with a dog, out in the marsh. Okay, so that's yes, his clients love that. What we have to do, though, is we have to remember to be self-aware every day. Meaning, if iSoulPhoto wants to sell a certain amount of photography services, okay, there's a certain amount of high-value activities that he's got to do, okay? Otherwise, if you're just selling on the back end and completing sales, which is certainly fine, but you're not doing any prospecting, what's going to happen is you're going to have some big spikes in sales, and then you're going to drop off the map the next month. Why? Because you weren't continuing to fill your sales funnel. So Vish has referral partners, so you're heading in the right direction. Prospecting is what he does. The other thing that Vish can do is Vish can make a goal of how many legitimate quality referrals he gives out. So let's say there's a painter that he has a strategic alignment with, or a remodeler. And whenever he runs into homeowners that needs painting, remodeling, maybe a roofer, okay, he goes out of his way to make sure those subcontractors get his referrals. And in return, when those subcontractors are out in the market and he hears about someone buying or selling, then those people who are in a strategic alliance with Vish will also scratch Vish's back. Okay, so that is absolutely an effective way to market. Now, the other thing is to look at technology, and Vish or ISOL, you guys are both in the house. Cesara has had to leave, but she'll be coming back to it. And I would suggest to you to look at the analytics. Some people spend time only on prospect. However, they never close the sale. See, that's a problem too. Okay. Because if you don't close the sale, you don't eat. Okay. And I mean, some of y'all have seen my stomach, you know. I eat, and if it's something good, you know, I don't want to look at the price. Okay, so here's what he's saying there. It's got to have a balance. If you're not keeping up, hey, Delilah, we're into a great conversation on sales and your sales funnel and what high value activities that you need to be doing. Here's the thing. At the same time that you're closing sales, and boy, you can get all excited, we have to remember on that same day, we need to look down at our sheet and we need to decide what other high value activities that we need to do. For example, I have a system called 442260. Okay, this is a system in my insurance and financial firm. You don't have to use these same numbers, but you can use this concept, and right when we get off the Periscope, you can put it in place. What is 442260? It stands for high value activities. So I'm an old ball player, and when we call plays, the plays are called really short. Every number means something. Let's make a huddle, get to the line, and let's run the play. So 442260 is, did we give 4 auto quotes? So in my insurance business, we want to give, each producer needs to give 4 auto quotes to 4 different households over an 8-hour period of time. 4 auto quotes. The second 4 is 4 life insurance quotes, because so many people are in the need to be educated, not necessarily sold, but educated on the benefits of life insurance. Many people are clueless as to how important it is and how inexpensive it can be. So the first 4 is 4 auto households. The second 4 is 4 life insurance households that we quote. Then it goes 4422. The 2 is, let's submit 2 quotes for car refinancing. So we're going to refinance their car loans because my company does bank loans. Okay, so the high value activities that my producer inside the insurance and financial services business needs to do: 4, 4, 2 auto loans submitted, and 2 referrals. Okay, 2 referrals, and 2 referrals could be, let's go with Vish. Let's role play with Vish right now. Vish would be talking to somebody that's really appreciating the fact that Vish has brought them all around in a car, trying to fit the house to the wife and the husband, and they got 2 kids and they got a big dog, so the dog needs a place to play in the backyard, things of that nature. And so they're happy with what Vish has done for them. Maybe Vish hasn't sold them anything yet, but Vish is trusted by these individuals. So Vish does not have to ask for a referral only at the end of the sale. He can ask it at any point in the relationship process. Okay, that's a mistake a lot of salespeople make. Number one, they don't even ask for the referral at the end, much less ask for it before. Okay, so Vish would talk to John and Mary and say, John and Mary, it appears that you like the work that I do. And John and Mary said, oh yeah, Vish, you've been rocking, you've taken us to 17 houses. Quite frankly, we kind of feel bad because we haven't decided just one yet. But yeah, we feel comfortable with you. And so Vish asked John and Mary, you know a lot of people. You see them at the country club. You see them at the school. You see them at Boy Scouts. You see them at the basketball or the soccer for the kids. Tell me, in those conversations, John and Mary, what friends that are over there that have discussed moving from one home to the next? Did you hear that? What friends have discussed moving from one home to the next? And then what did I do? Vish knows what I did. I shut up. Because you got to let Mary and John think. So let Mary and John think. And so Mary and John might give one name, two names, whatever. Then Vish can say, well, Mary and John, those were friends. How about your neighbors? Is there a neighbor, that you know and trust? Maybe you've even seen a sign come up, or there's some rumblings. They haven't even put up a sign yet, and that would be great for Vish, because then Vish could go in and become the signing agent, so he could be on maybe the front end of the sell and on the buy. Okay, friends, neighbors. John and Mary, what about your co-workers? John, I know you work at the electric company and people are coming in and out. There's some transient movement. Who is over there that might be considering move? Matter of fact, you might have just had somebody just recently move, and they're still renting, so they haven't found a house yet. Okay, is this helpful? Is this helpful, this type of training of asking these questions? Because John and Mary, I don't think are going to be upset with the way that Vish is asking these questions. Here's my statement. Vish says, what I imagine you want client-centered real estate advisors like myself. Okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. The main thing that I want you to get from this little small coaching session, Vish, is to coach the client with those 4 words. There's 4 different, like me to invest my time, consultant, negotiating. That's great stuff, okay? That's great stuff. And Vish, once you've shown them value, and you've earned their trust, and that they see you credible, at any point that is, you're ready to ask for those referrals. You are ready at that point. So you're there, Vish. You're on the right track. The only thing that I'm going to tell you or not tell you, but suggest to you, is to coach them on 4 categories, because the way the mind works, a lot of times people don't give us referrals simply because we haven't coached them on what we're looking for. So that whenever I said to John and Mary about the friends, and then I went to the neighbors, and then the third one would be coworkers, and then the fourth one would be relatives. Those are 4 different streams of people in their mind. And so, yes, Patrick, he earns the referral. He earns the referral ahead of time because he gave good service on the front end. Transaction, because I know you want to have the type of real estate experience that compels you to act or to refer me. Okay. So, also, very good. Introduce me to the people you care about the most. Is that good, Patrick? Did you see what Vish just put? Both of you should be following each other. Both of you should be following each other. Here's the other thing. All right, this is a hard question, Patrick and Vish. Actually, it's not hard. It just takes focus. When we get good referrals from someone, do we have a system in place whereby 30 days later, we find an excuse to get back in touch with John and Mary? Okay? It might be a holiday. It might be whatever. I saw some flowers that you liked and you wanted to put those in your yard. But find an excuse to get back in touch with John and Mary so that they can give you additional future referrals, because the people that have done business with you in the past is your best future economic opportunity. Follow me back, Pat. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Okay, so remember to work internally. Like right now, if I told you in your area, I don't know what area you're in, what state you're in, Vish, but if there was a law that came out, this is good stuff here, guys. Y'all got me fired up. if there was a law that came out in Vish's area or Patrick's area, and it says, look, guys, you can grow, okay, so he's in Canada. You can grow as much as you can, Toronto. You can grow as much as you can, Vish, but you can't sell anything unless you're getting referrals from the clients that have already bought from you. If there was some law like that, well, then old Vish would get really focused just on constantly getting in front of his existing customers and continue to add value. So do that, okay? Internally marketing to the happy people is how I grow my business. The fact is, I'm a permission-based marketer. If you hadn't figured it out, I don't really stuff anything down a person's throat. They either get me or they don't. You're in Canada. I feel a kinship already simply because I'm a South Louisiana Cajun. Some of my people came down from Canada. And so Toronto is a great place for you to continue to nurture your relationships, because quite frankly, even if you have other real estate agents in that area that right now are outperforming you, you can catch up and outperform them if you continue to develop better systems than the ones that they have in place. I firmly believe that. I feel sorry for people that are exceptionally intelligent, because sometimes they have so many choices that they never are inclined to act. And so Patrick is in Vermont. I don't know what type of sales you're in, Patrick, but the point is we're all in some sort of sales. It's the mindset that I wanted to teach this morning. And so we actually covered two things. We covered how to talk to team members and to continue to daily follow up with them. And then we got into a discussion on how to ask for referrals. And the reason we ended up in a discussion on how we ask for referrals is because Vish was in real estate sales, and he absolutely is correct that he does know that his high value activity is prospecting. If he doesn't prospect and he doesn't drink a cup of coffee and get belly to belly with people and develop trust, then he's not going to have anybody to share any of his real estate inventory with. And we are all in sales. What has happened, Patrick, is there's a lot of introverts now that are what I would call non-traditional salespeople. In my own insurance practice here in Louisiana, I have 3 people that when they're tested out, they are tested out as introverts. They are not overly outgoing, but what they are is they are great educators. And so a certain type of people, and ask them what's important to them, a certain type of person appeals to my introverted team members that may not appeal to me. And so building a team, we need some diversity for sure, because your job is to be the best you. I have no intention on you becoming the best Marvin. I want you to be the best you, right, Patrick? So I have loved this. I love the thing about overthinking. If you have more high value activities that don't fit on one sheet of paper, you're not going to do them. Okay. Remember that if you see in America, you'll see a national football NFL head coach, and he's got his paper over his mouth like that. And so he's got a laminated page with things that he needs to think about and his playbook. Well, you have a playbook as well right now. And hey, honestly, Ketchy, you're going to love this broadcast, baby. We're towards the end of it, but we've covered important team member questions to ask on team member follow-up, and we've covered how to ask for quality referrals. It's been a great replay for you to see. So make sure that you check it out. Vish, Patrick, if you're not following Honestly Ketchy, Honestly Ketchy is responsible for a paid Skype event that I had last week, because she shared my broadcast. The broadcast that I did that day was how to deal with baby boomers and millennials that are both working in the same workplace. And so, Ketchy, I'm very grateful to you, and I would love to have a personal conversation with you because you have been instrumental in allowing my format on Periscope to actually be monetized. And you can't ask for anything better than that. And I am so grateful to you, Ketchy. So when you're doing your Periscopes, guys, Patrick, Vish, when you're doing your Periscopes, don't get too bent out of shape whenever you feel like you did a couple of really good ones and you don't really get that much feedback, and then the ones you think they were kind of good, boom, all of a sudden people like. So why I'm telling you that is Elton John, the rock star piano player Elton John, he's got a lot of greatest hits. Well, he wrote a song. I know you've probably heard the song Benny and the Jets. Benny, Benny, Benny and the Jets. Well, he hates that song, and he wrote it kind of being goofy. Thanks for the hearts, people. Thank you for the hearts. He wrote that song just kind of cutting up. Well, man, the recording studio wanted to record it. Fine, he recorded it. He never knew that the song would be fantastic and that a lot of people liked it. So he kind of got pissed off because he had to sing it in the concerts. Okay, so here he was. He has a whole lot of songs he really likes, but then that's not the ones they wanted to hear. After 100 broadcasters, I miss it. Something about 100 broadcasts, and I don't think I'm there. So the point is, your job is just to put it out there. The point is, whether there's one person or 100 people in the broadcast, you just don't know who you're going to affect. Never stop doing your best just because someone doesn't give you credit. Correct. What it's about is building your daily dream. And the other thing it's about is having a strong support system. I don't know if I'm ever going to get the actual privilege to ever meet Ketchy, okay? But Ketchy's the kind of person that if she called me at 2 o'clock in the morning because she's lost somewhere in New Orleans and she asked me to go pick her up, I'd pick her up even though I've never met her face to face. Do y'all understand what kind of relationship that is? Okay, so for me, it's about relationship capital. Relationship capital is a hell of a lot more important than monetary capital. Y'all follow me? Okay, so that's what's important to me is relationship capital. If you lose all the money and you don't have relationship capital, you are totally just lost. But if you lose all your money and you have relationship capital, you're going to be able to rebuild quite quickly. I know, because I became homeless at 43 years old, courtesy of Hurricane Katrina. I had relationship capital. And now 10 years later, I'm an Amazon best-selling author, I'm a professional speaker, and I'm a business coach. And none of that would happen had I not had relationship capital. Okay? So it can happen to you. So what you're doing on Periscope is extremely important. Right now, if you don't know it, people are leaving Facebook in droves to come to Periscope. And the reason they're coming to Periscope is just like this. Just now, Wayne just joined. Here's the whole deal. He's a perfect example. Wayne just popped in. I have a relationship with Wayne. I have a relationship with Ketchy. People I've never met. Well, you could try to have a relationship on Facebook, but it's not the same, okay? This interaction thing on Periscope is addictive. People want to be in a relationship, okay? So don't worry too darn much about your money. I want you to worry about your capital relationship. People do business with people they trust. I didn't catch the rest of that. Yeah, iSoul has been in the house as well. And so understand something, that you are loved regardless of what that little paraman says at the bottom. Because, by the way, the little Periscope man that shows you the number, that number's never right. Okay, one time I thought I had 10 people in the room, and when I went back, there was like 62 people. So don't get all bent out of shape on that. Be in love with giving. Give your content, and everything else is going to take care of itself. Okay, guys? So I'm going to end this scope. We've went into a whole lot of good stuff. It's a great scope to go back and watch. And the main reason it was a great scope is because it was interactive. So if Vish doesn't show up and Patrick doesn't show up and all these other people that show up, it enhanced the quality of the broadcast for everybody. Okay? It enhanced the broadcast from everybody. Thank you for those hearts. And keep hanging around the great people. Okay, if you see some losers on Periscope, block them. Okay, if you see some losers in your workplace, block them. If you see some losers in your relationships at home and in your city, block them. The reason is you don't have time for them. They'll suck the energy right out of you. So hang around with the right people that are going in the direction that can nurture you. Are you a nurturer? If you were a math problem, are you a multiplier? Or are you a subtractor? Okay? If you were a math problem, are you a multiplier or are you a subtractor? Do you divide people or do you add and multiply? Okay? So look at yourself. Because guess what? We're not animals. Okay? We're humans. You can be a divider and a subtractor and change right now into a multiplier and an adder. Like that. Because you're not a sheep. Okay? So follow those multipliers. Follow those adders. Be a nurturer. Be a leader. And remember, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Marvin LeBlanc, and as always, I say goodbye, and I wish you peace. I wish you love, and always, I wish you a bowl of gumbo. From South Louisiana, Marvin LeBlanc, the Cajun Rambo. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. Have a great day.